he looks like even in practice today, he'd be hard not to notice. So that's a very good sign. Not surprising for me in that the poor guy just wasn't able to get rhythm. Misses more than half training camp. 2 games, injury, out 6 weeks. Handful of games, injury, out 6 weeks. Comes back, and obviously you also have to give him a little credit of trying to manage his game a little better. You can see his shift links are managing. Obviously, bad turnover for the goal against the open netter, but you're not seeing him with the egregious turnovers. He's trying to manage his game while keeping his offense going, and he's getting there, which is a good sign for us.
What did you think he could develop into when you prepped to be coach here last summer? Like, I mean, you saw him live from the other bench, but video, like, where did you think?
He hunts pucks. He keeps pucks alive. He's got that stick. To me, watching him last year and what he's been missing with not having his rhythm, not being around, is these little 2-foot races in the O-zone on the forecheck that he gets a stick on and keeps alive. He was unable to get there. Now you can see his pace getting there. He's keeping plays alive. I mean, the goal he scored was a great example of execution on a set forecheck into a forecheck. They kept the play alive in the back of the net. So that's who he is. I've looked at him from afar, always hunting pucks, keeping plays alive in the O-zone, and he's been doing that of late.
Derek, on the flip side of that, I mean, is there anything you guys can do, or is it something that he just has to work through?
I think work through, even practice today, you can see it was a lot of in-tight offense. We tried to score some goals today. So, for Kubi, I just think it's something like any player. You fight through some things and keep working at it, because his care level is extremely high. It's just there's probably a definite between his ears right now. The good thing is he's still getting looks. It's just his stick looks a little nervous, which is players go through it.
Sometimes you're streaky guys, you just live through it.
Yeah, I think so, of course. And we'll have some decisions here. We'd like to get Z in. Don't know who or what and what it fits, but most players like that, they fight through it. And for someone like him, as long as he's moving his feet, still, like we ask of all of our guys, being good away from the puck, I think it'll come around.
Because based on practice, it looked like
Go ahead, Al.
Sedina might be in tomorrow. Is that
possibly? Yeah, we still haven't decided. We practiced like that today. It's something we will still talk about as a staff going into tomorrow.
A few weeks ago, you said that Sedina had put in the hard work, was going above and beyond, and that impressed you. But what's he going to have to do once he is in to stay in? What are you looking for?
Just the same we ask all of our guys, manage this game. We've done a good job of limiting turnovers. I mean, last night was a really frustrating game. Talking about the whole, we only had 21 turnovers. We win in games you have 21 turnovers. But the turnovers, we had 5 on-man rushes, and it was the difference in the game. Goal number 2, on-man rush, ended up in the back of our net. We lost some momentum on our power play by giving up on-man rushes. And then the 3-on-2 with 5 minutes left was the last odd-man we gave up, and we took a penalty on it, and that was the game. So, like him, just managing the game, don't turn pucks over, be responsible, be good away from the puck.
You guys talked about
No, absolutely. You hope offense is a byproduct of it, but we want him good, like as all of our guys, away from the puck. Of course, with his skill set and his potential, you would like pucks to go in the net for him. But we want him to improve his overall 200-foot game.
Derek, when you look at the schedule, I know that
she literally got cut off 4 times in a row. Not awful. It's just
she's quick on the trigger. She's always had me off. I mean,
it is good. It's all part of it. Getting first
anyway,
base.
I just want to ask a question then, and then Helena, the floor is yours forever. But my question is that the way this schedule plays out, I know you have a back-to-back next week, but is it almost conducive to Billy's workload?
Could be, yes. And I think we know there's some times we've rolled out a tired Villy, and we may have used him more than expected. But now we're into the point where I don't mind getting maybe even past this threshold. Just like everything else, we're building, and we're building him. And we might use him more than even anticipated down the stretch, within reason. We foresee Magnus are getting one, or if not two, of the next 6 or 7, 8 games. But we have no problem. And last night games, that was not a hard. We'd like to continue to have games like last night where it wasn't a hard volume game. We only gave up a handful of chances. We clearly had a ton more zone time, almost 3 more minutes. It just wasn't an exhausting game for him. We'd like to continue to do that in front of him to give him that opportunity to maybe go beyond his threshold.
Just with Tyler, you talked a few weeks ago about how, that line they're involved a lot in offense, but also chances against. Are you seeing an improvement?
Absolutely.
There? Yeah.
I mean, it shows. I mean, the eye test. Like I have the luxury of watching the game over 4 or 5 times in nauseam. It's just what we do. You guys see the eye test, and that feels like a really good line right now. They feel dangerous, and it's real. And even that, they were still a really good line in that. I read an article there. And not that I read a lot of press, but there was an article basically stating that they were a poor defensive line. It kind of upset me because it's not how we see it or how our numbers look, which is fine. That's people doing their job. Again, they get the top line every single night, every matchup, and they get the top D pair. And that's a tall order, and they've been good, and they've been really good of late, and hopefully they're still building.
How often do you? I mean, do you go home and watch the game?
Oh, yeah, we will continue. We watch right over everything, right over, and then we'll have certain areas of expertise with our guys that they fine too. I mean, that's every staff. That's just the way it is.
Actually, this is because you saw Udo so much with Tampa. How different is Calgary's system and what he's asked?
Yeah, I couldn't comment on Calgary's system just because we don't see the West much. Obviously, it's a really good team and a playoff team, but he was an absolute superstar in the time we played against him in Tampa. Just every time he was out there, he felt dangerous, high-end skill, very noticeable. So, I mean, this will be a different look, obviously different system, different team, but, really can't comment on what he looks like in Calgary, but I certainly know what he looked like in Tampa, and he was a really top-end type player. Yeah, I don't think so. I think he took a little time. But most guys, very few guys took the entire 8 days. So I hope you're asking because obviously he was really good last night. So, but yes. No. I don't think they spent time together. So most guys kept their game. And I give the guys credit. Most teams had the option of 2 days of practice before their first game. We chose the 2 days of practice, and I think it helped our group. And again, I know it's a frustrating loss last night and self-inflicted on the exact odd mans I talked about, but I mean, you look that back, and then when I look that back, we were pretty darn good last night. That's a game I feel we should win, and we should have won if we clean up those odd mans. Thanks, guys.